And time for a talk of the town today here on AM 1390 KRFO. We're going to visit with a couple of members of the Waseca Garden Club as we have Boyd Fuller joining Kathy Ofdahl as this Sunday is the date for the annual garden tour. I don't know, maybe we'll start off just by talking a little bit about the Waseca Garden Club. Who are you people and how many do you have and, well, what do you do besides garden? Talk a little bit about that.
Lauren, we meet once a month. We meet on the second Monday of each month, and at 6:30 in the evening at the experiment station in Waseca, and we're open to the public. And we have a speaker or a topic each month at our meetings, so people can learn about gardening and other things that are pertaining to our local area.
Are there any fees to join or?
$5 a year.
Oh boy.
Yes, yes.
It can't get any cheaper
Yeah,
than
no,
that.
and we have around 30 to 35 members.
Okay.
It's a very good, very active group.
Can you recall offhand maybe some past speakers or some topics that were covered at some past meeting? If not, I can understand why you wouldn't remember, but anything or not?
Toadstools.
Yeah, we've had toadstools. We've had someone talk about mushrooms that you can go out and gather and they cook. And they cooked them one time and we all got samples. Vegetable gardening. We had someone come and speak about gathering seeds and that kind of heirloom kind of things. And then once a year in November, we always have a potluck. And then we always have a pie contest.
Okay, I'm glad I asked that because I was assuming you were talking. Well, one guy talked about hydrangeas and a girl talked about petunias, but you mentioned seeds and mushrooms, and that I didn't expect that. So that's good to know.
That's all part of nature.
Yeah, it does. So it's not more than just flowers you're talking about.
I really enjoy the pie contest.
Do you like it?
Different kinds of pies.
Are you one of the bakers?
No, I'm one of the eaters.
You're a smart guy then. Let them do the work. Okay, a pie contest. Okay, good to learn about the Waseca Garden Club. If someone is interested in joining your club, simply show up or they need to talk to somebody or what?
No, they can simply show up.
Okay, and now this Sunday you have your annual Waseca Garden Club. It's free. It's the Flower Garden Tour. And I don't know, you just want to pick out a few. Well, first off, we start at the Bailey Lure House. That's where you get your map and such. Tell us a little about the Bailey Lure House. That's always pretty nice.
The Bailey Lure House was built in the middle 1860s. And it is ran by the Waseca County Historical Society. And it's a fully restored home. It's absolutely lovely. And then the day of the garden walk, the house will not be open itself, but you can walk around outside, and there are heirloom plantings from the era when it was built.
And if you come by between 1 and 5, you can get your map, and again, it's free. And we'll just start off, and I'll just throw a few. You got a list of names here. Let's see, Millie Knight, is that the name of it?
Right.
That person? Talk a little bit about Millie's garden.
Millie's been taking care of her garden lovingly for 64 years, and she has a wide variety of plants, vegetables, flowers, roses, just lovely things. And she has quite a challenge because right where she lives, there are a lot of oak trees and a lot of squirrels, and she's come up with some very innovative ways to get around those squirrels and to keep her plants.
Okay, so you learned something at that one too.
Sure.
You have a family called the Schmidts that would be offering up their garden. Can
Right.
you tell us about them?
Well, Amy and Ralph Schmidt have a very, very cute garden, and Ralph has got a collection of car artifacts, and he has those in his garage, and that is open for the public to come and look at that too. And he's just got all kinds of cool stuff, and his daughter even has a collection of things pertaining to the Little House on the Prairie TV series, and those are there for people to look at also.
Okay, so we got a variety of things. You're not just going to be looking at flowers. You mentioned already vegetables and car artifacts, and you mentioned the Little House on the Prairie collectibles. So a lot of different things. You don't have to be flower crazy to want to take a look.
No.
You know, you have the Tollefson residence, also one of the places.
Carl has a very interesting spot. He lives on the north shore of Loon Lake, and he and his partner, Bonnie, bought the house about 8 years ago and started renovating. And first they were going to tear the house down, weren't they, Boyd?
Right.
But then they decided to keep the house and just make it better, enhance it, remodel it. And then they got involved with landscaping around outside of the home. And from Carl's house, you can look out over Loon Lake and see the town. And it's just a lovely, lovely spot.
Okay. And you also have a place on State Street called Trowbridge Park. Talk
Right.
a little. Okay, taken care of by the city of Waseca. Talk about that.
Well, we always try to feature a public area in the city
Mhm.
during our garden walk. And this year, the library is situated in Trowbridge Park, and it has been receiving new landscaping from the Parks Department. And it looks lovely, doesn't it, Boyd?
Beautiful.
Okay.
And the
And
park has oak trees, and it has a band shell that's on the historical
landmark.
register.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was allowed to deteriorate some, but they've renovated it, and we're starting to use the band shell for the Chautauqua.
Chautauqua.
Chautauqua. Okay.
And bands. They've had bands performing there.
Yeah,
It's very good.
and it's right downtown, you might say, in a beautiful area that should be used more efficiently.
Okay, and that's on the tour as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a few other homes, the Johnson residents, talk a little bit about their gardens.
Jennifer and Steve Johnson live just a little ways off the north shore of Clear Lake, and they have a lovely, lovely place there. As you drive or walk up to their home, you'll see a fountain that Jennifer has put on top of a tree stump, and it is just so cute. And she does all as all the homeowners do. They all do their own gardening and designing, and she has some very interesting ideas, and a big, beautiful display of hollyhocks, all different colors. Very, very unusual. You don't usually see that many in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a big garden of raspberries, which a friend of hers comes and picks every year and then makes jams and jellies. And they have grapes, and they have a big backyard. They also have quite a wildlife challenge at their house, because not only do they have squirrels, but they have a lot of deer. So they've had to, find ways to work around that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a koi pond with a little waterfall, and quite an interesting collection of different types of clematis around their yard.
Mm-hmm. We're talking to Boyd Fuller and Kathy Offball from the Waseca Garden Club. Their garden tour, it's free, it's Sunday. And one more place you have on your list to visit, it's the Lubke's.
Richard and Renee Lekas.
Oh, Lekas, okay.
Yeah, and they have a house that would be by Clear Lake, and it is really cute. They have a lot of interesting decorative things sitting outside, and they have snapdragons, clematis, different kinds of flowers, and beans, and everything. I mean, it's just a feast for the eyes.
What I've noticed with all these, look, everyone's different. You've got one has beans, one has grapes and raspberries. You got one with old car parts. How do you pull together such a potpourri or variety? Do you like say, how many of you members want to show your garden off, or how do you figure out what garden gets put on?
Well, we have volunteers. Boyd had talked to Carl, and Carl had volunteered to be on the garden walk, and is looking forward to it. And of course, he's a very gracious guy. But members will hear, have neighbors or friends that are interested in being on the garden walk. And then we also have garden walk or garden club people that are on the walk too.
It was just so good that every single one of these
It's
gardens
kind
has
of
something
a
different.
cooperative effort.
Yeah.
I might add at the Lure House there, they have free cookies, homemade cookies and other goodies,
And lemonade.
and
This is the
Mary
guy that
Ellen-
eats all the pie too. Now he's talking
Mary
cookies.
Ellen cooked them, and we brought you a sample. We hope you enjoy it.
I think we got Boyd figured out, don't we? Cookies,
we-
pies. He's got a sweet tooth. I
Well,
give him a hard time. It's the Waseca Garden Club tour. You have any guess about how long it would take, or how many miles you'd be driving if you wanted to go all the places? I mean, if not, I can understand why you wouldn't know. But any
This-
guess how long it would take?
This
on
year
average?
things are rather concentrated. You'll note we have houses on Clear Lake and on Loon Lake. And Waseca is quite fortunate to be situated between two lakes.
Mm-hmm.
and the Clear Lake is bigger, more activities, water skiing and things like that. And Loon Lake is kind of a country cousin. We have a park on Loon Lake, and families go there and picnic. And we're putting a pier out on the pier, a fishing dock, and the kids can go fishing and catch.
You would easily be able to do all of the homes within from 1 to 5.
Okay.
Because they're all very close.
Okay, I was kind of
And
curious.
I might point out on the Tollison place there's a eagle carving that has been quite an attraction to the community.
Okay, it's a chance for Waseca to show off a lot of stuff, their gardens.
Yes.
So simply, all you do is go to the Bailey Lure House, well, preferably closer to 1 than 5, and pick up your map, and then you can meander and visit as many of the places as you like.
We might point out that there's a map that gives you directions, and on the back of your sheet that you get as a handout, it's numbered, and you can follow that map if you're from out of town.
And again, you probably want to come as close to 1. You don't want to show up at 4:30 because these other places, they're going to be shutting their gardens down at 5 o'clock.
Well, quite often we'll have them out in the country. And
I think
this year they're concentrated in town.
Right in the city. Anything else you would like to add about either the Waseca Garden Club or your garden walk this Sunday?
Well, we just encourage people to come over and take a look at the gardens. The owners will all be in their gardens, so if people have questions about perhaps how did a plant grow for you, how do you take care of it, where did you find a plant, that kind of thing. So they are there to answer any and all questions that people may have.
Okay. Again, it's this Sunday. Just stop at the Bailey Lure House between 1 and 5 and pick up your mat for the Waseca Garden Tour. And that's our talk of the town for today.